I'm going to show you 5 kettlebell exercises to improve your golf performance. Whether you're training from home or at a gym, all you need is one kettlebell to do each of these exercises. We're going to focus on mobility, strength and power, which are all essential to improve golf performance. Exercise 1, we're going to focus on hip mobility. Having mobile and flexible hips is essential to moving properly in the lower half. All you need to do is take your kettlebell, letting it hang, and take as wide a stance as you possibly can get. So essentially a sumo type stance. From here, we're going to essentially do a sideward lunge on the spot. So essentially we're moving down into one side with the feeling of pushing the hip backwards and the upper body staying as square as possible. So we're not lunging sidewards and rotating. We're just sitting into the hip. We'll hold it for a couple of seconds and then we smoothly transition into the opposite side. So we're constantly moving and we're loading up the hip, getting as much range of motion as we can, but by pushing the hip backwards and getting the weight towards the heel. The next exercise, we're going to focus on more mobility and strength through the upper body, the trunk, which is essential to how we move that upper body in the golf swing. So we're going to take the kettlebell holding each end and we're going to pin it to the chest. So almost like we're having to pull our elbows back and chest out. Standing with feet roughly shoulder width apart, we're going to take a split stance position, so we're naturally on the back tiptoe, and we're going to hinge over the hips so we're facing fully to the ground. Pulling that kettlebell in, we're going to try and turn the chest around the front hip. So essentially the feeling of the rib cage rotating, but keeping that kettlebell pinned to the chest. As you're doing this, we're making sure we don't lift up out of posture. We're going to now focus on single leg stability and balance, which is important to how we interact the lower body with the ground while keeping stable through the core. You're going to simply stand on one leg with a little bit of knee flex to almost feel like you're stable into the ground. From here, with the kettlebell in one hand, to start simply, you're going to pass it to the other hand. Now what this is doing is bringing the mass, and we're having to stabilize against that added weight. So we're having to work hard for our stability and balance. We're just simply passing it from side to side, keeping that stability. And as we get more comfortable, we can go a little bit quicker and then a bit further, which makes it even harder. Even if we do start to lose balance, that's okay, because that's what we're looking for. Can we then re-stabilize and work hard through that core and through that ground to maintain that balance? Next, we're going to focus on lower body strength and power, which is essential to producing clubhead speed and stability throughout the golf swing. All you're going to need is a bench or a box that's roughly going to be around knee height. Taking a stride far enough away where we can put the back foot wedged against it and the front knee is naturally forward of the back knee, we're going to hold the kettlebell in the same hand as the front leg. We're then going to put the opposite hand across the chest, keeping the body feeling upright. We're just simply going to squat or lunge down as low as possible, keeping the arms straight, so not letting the kettlebell swing out in front, and keeping stable, good depth, power up and repeat. And finally, we're going to focus on upper body strength and stability, which is important to being able to stabilize that club and creating power in posture. We're going to simply hold the kettlebell from side to side, feet shoulder width apart with a little bit of knee flex, but the feeling of almost the hips push forward like we're squeezing our glute muscles nice and tight, so our spine is under our core. From here, with a bit of arm bend, we're simply going to raise the kettlebell overhead, so we're fully locked out, arms pushing to the ceiling, and in a controlled manner, we're going to bring the kettlebell back down, where we're resisting through the core from changing posture. So hips locked, tall, power up, resist the motion down without losing shape. With all these exercises, depending on the weight of kettlebell you use, focus on a rough rep range of 6 to 12 and 3 to 4 sets. Aim to do these 3 to 4 times a week or integrate the exercises into your own gym program. If you found these exercises useful, don't forget to comment below. And if you'd like more purposeful routines like this that focus on different areas of the body for different outcomes, you can access these through my Golf Fitness app here. And if you want some more exercises for power, watch this video next.